Hi guys, it's Mary or Hard Left Yogi with Flip Your Dog Yoga. So, we're talking chakras. Magical spinning wheels of colored light that they're out of balance, all is ending. If they're imbalanced, you're enlightened and floating on a granola cloud. Or they're actually nerve plexus that run up and down your spine and correlate with different organs and muscle functions. Simple as that. The deal is that they are directly linked up to different places in your brain. There's certain muscles that are more directly linked to your parasympathetic system. So when you're nice and relaxed, these muscles tend to play more. Or we've got muscles that are definitely more linked with our sympathetic system, which means that you can run, fight, flight, or freeze, right? So you have these options within the body. And of course, our nerves are like the wiring of our body that talk to these different organs or our different muscles within our body. So, there's a lot of processes that happen when you go into stress response. The nerve impulses go through the body and really kind of shut down a lot of digestive system because they're rerouting a lot of the energy and the information to flight, fight, or freeze, right? And then when you're in the more relaxed or the rest and rehab mode, then different organs and muscles take a hold. You start digesting, your body starts processing, cleaning out your lungs, cleaning out your sinuses. So we have different nerve plexus that are talking to different organs and different functions within our body. These nerve plexus running up and down the spine also correlate with psychological development, Maslow's theory of hierarchy, right? And also Erickson's theory of psychological development. So as we start to develop within a human life, we also start to grow and do different functions with our body, and different organs start to take play. So, when you're young, your sex organs aren't really pumping out a lot of hormone in the way they are when you're in your teenage years, or say if you're pregnant or something like that, right? So we have basically nerve plexus talking to different parts of our body, and they are what chakras are. So when they talk about magical spinning wheels of light, that they're either lethargic or not balanced because they're low energy or high energy, they're really just talking about like the mental play and what that nerve is doing. Like, are you so stressed out about family things that your stomach is just turning? What's making your stomach turn? The thoughts? Yeah. But how are the thoughts communicating with the stomach? And why do some thoughts of stress get you in the stomach more and some of them get you in the neck more? Why are some fears felt right here and some fears felt in the gut? And so basically that is what chakras are, is this connection between not only the body but the mind and what it's doing. So what we want to talk about today is just a really basic overview. If you're interested in taking a workshop about chakras, how to balance them and how they truly can affect your life in a positive, like health and pain management and weight management and all the other things that come along with this mind body connection, then look for my workshops or my videos down in the comments. You can follow us on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and every other friggin' social media thing you can think of, right? All right, so let's talk about the development of chakras and how a yoga instructor or even a body worker might look at the correlation between the hierarchy development. And so our base chakra, which really informs our lower end systems, for lack of better terminology, our legs, our lower end of our colon, things like that, right? You know, this chakra is deeply, deeply connected with the thoughts of food, clothing, shelter. So our psychological thoughts, our basic needs that we come into the world, and that's all we care about. And we can see that within a toddler. A toddler gives zero cares about what you think. All they want is their food, their clothing, their shelter, their nappy, their whatever it is. It's based on their needs at that moment. And it's not until you see around the year 14 that you see them start developing views outside of themselves. It tends to go towards friends at that point, more peers, moving away from the parents, which were really, really important, maybe through the 7 to 14 years, which really correlates with your being in the world, which is your second chakra. And so your chakras go from the base of your pelvis up. So we've got, let me pull a picture up for you, because that would be nice to share this information, wouldn't it? Yay. Let's share this. Okay. So as you can see, we have chakras here, right? Wonderful. If you know how a rainbow goes, that's the way the color system of the chakras are. Does that mean that these places are actually red or green within you? No. But there is a sense that sound has a frequency. Color also has a frequency. Guess what? Smell has a frequency too. That's the reason they call it notes. And we'll talk about that another time. So everything has a vibration or a frequency. And if you even look at matter itself, it's vibrating. There is a frequency to every molecule there is, right? Every atom there is. So when they're talking about colors and magical spinning wheels of light, there's a sense of frequency that's there, a rooted frequency. If I say, if you were listening to like a sound that makes you feel really grounded and rooted, it'd be almost this deep kind of sound. I suck at drumming. Great dancer, suck at drumming. Anyway, so, you know, we're looking at what experience it is, not necessarily you're going to have this red spinning wheel of light at the base of your pelvis, right? So you can see here, let me blow it up a little bit so that you can all see. You know, we've got things like, we've got the base chakra, which is red. You can go through, see its location. It's at the base of the spine. We've got the navel chakra. It's just below the navel. The solar plex chakra, it's supposed to be yellow. It's just above the navel, right there at your at the divide of your rib cage. You've got your heart chakra, and that's the center of your chest. You've got the throat chakra, which is at the base of your throat. And you notice it's colored blue here. We've got your forehead chakra, which is your third eye, your intuition, which I say goes into the belly chakra a whole lot too. And that's an indigo. And then we finally have, they call it violet, but it should be that it's so purple, it's white. Can you see it? So it's the white light that's above your head. You typically are known to have 7 chakras. The 7th chakra is above your head and really outside the field of your body. All right, so I'm going to stop the share on this one. So after I show you just kind of the little picture again. So we've got the root chakra, self-preservation, sacral chakra, self-gratification, which we can see a lot in our children, right? Solar plexus, that's self-definition. This is, you know, when we start seeing ourselves and so on and so forth. So let's talk about this root chakra, self-preservation. So really the only thing that a 1 to 7-year-old has any clue about is self-preservation. All they know is that they need food, they need sleep, they want that toy, and that's about it. It's their wants and nobody else's, right? I know that the sacral chakra says self-gratification, but that also goes into like who you are as a self, who you are in your family. You know, I am a boy, I am a girl. You can tell right around the age of where the sacral chakra from ages now 7 to 14 start to develop. Let me write these down so that you guys can see. 7 to 14 starts to develop. That's where you can really see like kids starting to take on who they are. You know, that's where my daughter really started to like identify with her imaginary friend a little bit more. She really had a sense of self, of Maya is a girl, and so forth and so on. But then the self definition really comes along even more so. So when I say self definition in this space, what I'm talking about is who are they beyond you? You know, when 7 to 8, that's wrong right there. This should be 7 to 14. Excuse me, my bad. So you can see these are running in 7-year packs. So from 7 to 14, they are, who am I within a family? I'm a boy, I'm a girl, But self-definition means more like, I am a girl who believes that horses have rights, you know, that starts to come in, right? Or I'm a boy that believes that all motocrossers are the best in the world, and those are the people I want to be around for the rest of my entire life, right? And then self-acceptance, this heart chakra, this is where we actually start coming over into where our nerve plexus or our chakras begin to upload more, not necessarily to the fight, flight, or freeze or the sympathetic system, but actually start to upload a little more to the parasympathetic system. And so at this point, I would say this is the crossover between reptilian brain being down here. So these are like reptilian behaviors and needs. And then everything up here tends to start coming from a more evolved notion of self and the world around us. And so when we talk about self-acceptance, this is coming into like the ages of 21 to 28. Whew, I really hate trying to draw right with my fingers. Y'all just have to give way with this. Anyway, so from 21 to 28, self-acceptance. So this is where you'll see a lot of people break from their peer group that they had, that they were so bonded with for the first 21 years of their life, their family, and really start to find their own sense of self that's not so much informed by everybody else. And then their actual peers, people that are 21 to 28, become more important, and maybe even up above that. Then here comes self-expression. This is, you know, this starts to come in around 28 and above, right? You know, this is where we really start to speak out for our beliefs. This is where we really start to stand up for who we are and how we integrate and are going to be in the world. And then after this, we start getting a little more timeless, you know, 28 to like 35 around in here, right? Where we start to really get self-realization. What do we mean by self-realization? It's not that we realize that we're self, but we realize the depth of ourself. We really start to connect to a soul and realize that we're connected to everybody else around us. And then finally, self-knowledge, that is a timeless thing, and that goes from here on out, and that's your crown chakra. And so what they have discovered is that our nerve plexus and this hierarchy kind of lockstep start to develop. And so, you know, you begin to become more proficient in these different areas, and the nerve plexus begin to talk to different areas of the body as you develop. And it's just kind of how it is. Why I even want to know this as a yoga instructor and how this interplays, like knowing the hierarchy and understanding how the mind can create disease, stress, and pain, and all of that. How does that interplay, this knowledge interplay with what I'm doing with a yoga student? So if a yoga student comes to me and they've had a chronic lower back pain, well, I'm going to do stuff that, I'm going to work on core, I'm going to work on their flexibility in some way, I'm going to work on their body. But the mind-body connection is what in the mind was sending nerve pulse to that part of their body that was either making them being overreactive, so the muscle is tensing up and causing like trigger points in nerves, because that thought just tends to hit right in that muscle, or this muscle. You can think about something stressful and just feel those muscles tighten up, right? And those thoughts are connected to those muscles through nerve plexus or chakras, right? So when I'm looking at a student and she's like telling me she's got constant neck problems, I'm going to ask, well, did you have you had whiplash, yada, yada, yada? Well, yeah. Okay. So those are going to be first and foremost, what exterior circumstances, but even deeper, what exterior circumstances. So if she's never had whiplash or doesn't have a reason to have any neck problems, then I might ask her where she's like feeling restricted on speaking out about who she is, or where she's maybe speaking too much, right? And so either an overactive nerve that could cause tension, trigger points, muscle spasms, minor tears, pain just from a thought. Or the flip side of it is that if you're so detached from that thought, that emotion, that space, that you're not sending proper electrical signals to that place, and then you are numb and lethargic and the place isn't responsive. So say like I see people with, say, good example, they don't have a feeling of being able to act on their own behalf. And you'll see them, they'll be very weak in their solar plexus, right? But that also comes with like people who are confident. How do they stand? They stand up with this sense that's being held from the space of solar plexus. So there's this like deep looping thought process that comes from confidence that informs your body language and posture, that reinforms the thought, that informs the nerve plex, that informs the behaviors, and so on and so forth. And so yet again, you can think of chakras as magical spinning wheels of light, or nerve plexes that give you some information on how the organs should behave and how the muscles should behave. If you are interested in a full chakra lesson and how to balance your chakras, exercises or yoga postures that would balance your chakras, all that good stuff, follow us, subscribe, and give us some comments. What are some yoga things that you would like to know? Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day.